Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Neki broadcast. Today we are thinking in Wesnoth, and we are casting a game that I played against versus Lead Fox. I'm going to reset to the beginning. Hopefully, this would fix the stats issue. And let's kick on. The game is on Caves of the Basilisk, and my opponent is Drake. And as far as I can remember, I was Undead. Obviously, I did not know that my opponent was Drake. However, it is really important on this map as chaotic to do an aggressive rush on the left hand side, and this is exactly what I did. So you never know what your opponent is. Therefore, I said I'm going to recruit one skeleton and one skeleton archer. Always good to have diversity. Obviously, adepts as much as possible. So the adepts, this one I think I used to get this village, and this one I simply pushed it forward together with the skeleton archer. One bat for scouting, and I wanted to avoid getting a ghost, so I got a walking corpse and a ghoul because I thought, at least with the walking corpse, I can hold a village, specifically this one. If my opponent has a merman, I can just put the walking corpse here, and then I can just quickly send my units over, because time and time again, when I do a rush on this map, there is a pesky, annoying merman grabbing this village. So I said to myself, look, I'm going to have a walking corpse here, forget about this village, and all the other villages are a bit more difficult to take, and then I can fully focus on the rush here. I could have gotten a ghost, which would have given me more flexibility on this flank. However, I wanted to just have a go and forget about this flank completely. Little did I know that my opponent was Drake, and getting a ghost here would absolutely been tremendous, because one ghost can basically keep in check 2 units. So it's an incredibly good investment. I recommend getting ghost here. Anyway, what's done, it's done. No reason to cry over spilled milk. So as you can see, my opponent is focusing on getting villages on the right hand side. Well, he's just getting villages basically. Drake units are expensive, therefore he's trying to use every single resource he has to get villages. And as far as I can remember from this game, Lead Fox has some pretty sick moves. He is a player, so to say. He had an incredibly cheeky display of moves right in my face with his units, so please stay tuned. I'll show you immediately what I mean. And as you can see, he is putting the Saurian, very strong unit, on the center of the map, and then shifting his force towards the left. I guess he was expecting the rush, so he said, I need to be prepared. So he's shifting all his force towards the left. If I was loyalist, he would have been not worried about at all about the left hand side, so he would have focused instead on the right hand side attack. So you see immediately a shift in focus. Anyway, what is really annoying here is that a quick scout, specifically Drake, flying scout, can get from this village, the far top corner, to my village here. So because I didn't have a ghost, right, I could have gone around, I could have boxed in this glider a bit better with a ghost and another unit. So because I have a ghoul now, my decision to recruit a ghoul comes to bite me in the neck, so to say. But what can I do? Work and hope. So I am pushing all my units forward very aggressively here. I'm obviously using the ghoul to deal as much damage as possible there, and I'm putting my leader saying, look, if you're not going to live with this glider, most likely my leader and the ghoul, even if they won't be able to get the village, will at least be able to kill you. So I'm going to say, sending really all my units. Look, another recruit on the left hand side, all my units on the left hand side. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 villages. Okay, this walking corpse doesn't count as a unit, but the walking corpse, as you can see here, is protecting this village. I wouldn't have been able to protect both this village and this village with my leader if I didn't have the walking corpse. And he is doing, as you can see here, he's just playing with fire. So when I saw the glider moving this way, I was like, what is he doing? Was that a misclick? But actually, he was scouting here, seeing my whole keep, exactly what I recruited, and then just disappeared into the look, disappeared into the fog. I believe I was not even at my computer when he played his turn, and I was like, wow, magic. Where did the glider go? Because I've just seen him here, then I had to leave, and then the glider was gone. So I figured he might have hidden in the mountains to the southeast. So a really interesting plays, really, really courageous from Lead Fox. Props to him. And as you can see, so he had freed the village on the left hand side, basically enabling me a very comfortable position at first watch. However, this particular placement here with the clasher was also quite intelligent because my adepts could not reach the clasher, so it was out of reach. And also this has a bit of a move of closing a trap, right? It has a ring to it that this is indeed what he's doing. So pretty standard now. Drake can really not hold villages versus Undead. They have to seize control of this village. However, this was cancelled out by the cute play with the glider. So actually, I'm not at a big advantage here. I would say it's even. The game is even. Also, what I was able to see with the bat, I was able to see that the skirmisher decided to leave the center of the map, therefore slowly bringing my walking corpse. So he's more interested in defending with the skirmisher rather than backstabbing with it. And as you can see now, all my units except this ghoul, which was my original plan, are going left. So all in all, my strategy does seem to come together. So all in all, really standard up to this point. However, he does again this brilliant move. So he look at his unit placement, very, very careful. So you see this clasher, he is outside of my reach. I can't really reach him with any unit. I was so frustrated when I saw this quick clasher dancing around me. I mean, the clasher, then the glider, the glider and the clasher. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units, plus the leader 7, plus recruiting another unit. He was a bit scared. They'll attempt to run by here with the ghoul eventually, so he wanted to have a unit in place. That is actually fair. But you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as I said, plus the leader 7, plus another recruit 8. 8 units versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 level 1 units. That is a scary amount of tricks, and any sane undead would simply retreat. You see, it will be second watch after my turn, so I can't really hold my position. So this is the key of the game, the key moment of the game. So there's no point for me to attack into him at this point. So it is first watch. However, I only have one target, which is this clasher, and I can't really kill that target. So I can't really attack into him. Also, I can't really stay, because if I do stay, you see this fighter coming, this clasher, all these units. He's going to backstab me. He's going to attack my adept. He's going to attack me where it hurts. So I don't really want to stay here either, because if I stay here, he becomes a bit more aggressive with his, passive aggressive style. He basically goes towards the aggressive side. Then I will have to retreat later on, and then I would be obviously slower than his fighters. So really, what you want to do here, if you have a walking corpse lying around, which normally you don't, or if you have a bat lying around, which I did, you leave the bat here and you retreat with absolutely everything. The bat being the bait. However, bat, 13 gold, it's quite an expensive bait. If I had a walking corpse, I would have done it. So I said, I'm going to retreat with absolutely everything. So I'm going to make sure that he can't catch me. He can't catch, for example, a skeleton, kill it, another skeleton, kill it, another adept, kill it, and then suddenly all my army is dead, while he masses up drakes. I wanted to prevent that. So I said to myself, I'm going to retreat, but at the same time, I'm not going to retreat too much. I want him to still be a bit cautious with his advancement. So I really kind of wanted to keep this position in my sphere of influence, but I did not want to be there because next turn I do have to retreat and I don't want to be slow while retreating. So I kind of wanted to threaten this position, but at the same time not be there. So I kind of went with my adepts here on this line because why? It's on difficult terrain with 2 movement penalty cost, and at the same time it's at the end of this terrain, so I can quickly retreat, right? But at the same time, being on this terrain, it means that I only have 1 tile of difficult terrain until I reach this village. So I keep this village in my reach, but also I am going to retreat. So I could have put my units here, which probably would have made Lead Fox to be a bit more cautious. But that would have created some problems. I couldn't have reached my villages in time. Or here, in this case, it gives more Lead Fox more peace of mind. But at the same time, it does keep some influence on this village. So what I did, I was saying, look, I'm not going to play a long drawn out game versus such a good opponent. He played really well with this unit movement, unit placement so far. So I knew it's going to be a long drawn out game. So I said, I'm going to make a fake retreat, and if he gives me the chance, if he's too aggressive, I'm going to attack. So you're going to see and this is definitely an option. It depends on your opponent being a bit aggressive with their push. So it doesn't only depend on you as Undead. As Undead, you have very little, very few instruments to influence this matchup. So, but watch the placement. So I'm just putting some pressure here. I don't really care about this flank at this point. So Mass Adepts, I'm putting my leader here. Why? Because I want to discourage him from doing any shenanigans with this glider, and I recruit a ghost. Basically, I'm also sending him, so again, adepts are on this particular terrain type. Of course, bones to protect them, but at the same time, bones, if bones are a bit slow, that's fine. And this particular skeleton can reach this village, and this skeleton can be around here. That's absolutely fine, not a problem. So I have these line of adepts, these skeletons. You can see the reach is quite far, right? This adept can reach even behind this village. The bones can reach behind this village. Even the walking corpse can hit, and I keep the vampire bat in quite an advanced position. Why? So I can see exactly what he's doing here. Now, at the same time, I recruit a ghost. This is another signal to my opponent that, look, I'm not really interested on this particular flank. I'm trying to deal with this annoying glider. 20 gold is a significant investment. This is another reassuring sign for my opponent, right? So it's a lot of mind games going on in the background. But I don't really care, and plus the ghost can also be used immediately to reinforce. That's the beauty of the ghost. It seems like the ghost is far away, however the ghost is 1, 2. An adept recruited here, 1, 2. So it's 2 turns away from the fight. An adept recruited here, a non-quick adept, would also be 2 turns away from the fight. Anyway, and now the ball is in Lead Fox's court. What does he do? So he obviously has to move forward. He should regain the village, or should he? The way that I said, if I had the walking corpse in range, I would have just placed the walking corpse here and then moved back with all my other units. He should do something similar. He should put 1 cheap unit on this village, and then all the others should be relatively far away, as in a circle like that. So if I do decide to turn around and attack, change my targets with all my adepts and all my skeletons, I should only be able to kill 1 drake at most. So you usually place 1 unit, let's say this particular drake fighter, intelligent, quick, and all others around it, but outside the range of the adepts, which is not particularly difficult to do. However, he also wanted to be a bit greedy, which I do all the time. I do all the time. So he also wanted to put his units forward to be able to reach me as fast as possible and deal damage. So it's always the case, does your opponent have enough to turn around and attack or not? So his bet was, and judging by the mindset and the placement, what I'm doing here and here, his guess was, nah, red player is going to go back. So I might as well be as aggressive as possible. And this is what he does. So let's see. Okay, so another another cute move with the glider there, dancing around. So the glider actually is outside the range of my Revenant and outside the range of this Adept. And it's very difficult for me to zone of control him. I want to use my leader here, 5 movement points, so I won't be able to recruit. So I can either recruit or zone of control the glider. So it's an incredibly refined placement of his unit. And of course, the quick trade allows him to place his units this way, but it's also his skill of really, he really tried hard during this matchup. Props to him for playing such a refined game. So again, if you look here, this particular clasher, again, it's like it's waiting in the shadows. It's a silent assassin. It's like, you can't reach me, you can't see me, but I see you, but you can't see me. He's basically saying like, now you see me, now you don't. Anyway, so nice placement here. However, this is his first inaccuracy, because if you remember, remember the reach of my adept. I can basically reach. I can even reach this fighter. I can reach this burner. So I have 3 Drake units which are in danger of dying. So going back for 1 Drake, so if, for example, he would have placed his burner a bit behind, and this particular, the burner I can understand. He has to be, because he only has 5 movement, he has to be as forward as possible. However, if you think about it, what is the burner's objective? Attack this particular village in 2 turns. The burner could have achieved this objective from this style also. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it would have been fine. So all these units could have been a bit back. But now, since the burner is especially right next to the village, if I kill this clasher and then I get the village, I can kill a burner as well. That would be disastrous. Plus, then I would have 4 adepts versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. It's not that bad. And I have these level 0s, so 6 units versus 6, plus these level 0 units plus recruits. The fight is not next to his castle anymore. It's somewhat in the middle of the map, right? I'm not basically attacking this village. I'm attacking here. So it's quite tempting. So basically, you should see my speech here, right? So it was basically, this was a mark that not necessarily that my move was brilliant or anything, but this was a mark that this is the game deciding move. It can either go my way or it can go his way. So this is basically game. This is going to be a short game, one way or the other. So let's see what happened. I got 2 out of 2. I had a sigh of relief when I saw this. It was really, really important. This meant that I could even use my skeleton archer now, and this is what I did. And again, I put the skeleton archer towards this side. Now, in hindsight, perhaps it would have been better to put it towards this side, because this is where the fighters and the hero is coming from. However, I put it on this side. Why? Because usually there is more mobility on flat than on water. So if I put here a unit, this unit would force, for example, his leader to go through water, and I would be absolutely fine. So this is usually how you place it traditionally. However, there are 2 flying units here. Nevertheless, I attacked this clasher and I got 2 out of 3. I got my hits. So that was really great. That basically signaled that I need to keep pressing. So attacking this burner, definitely with the skeleton, that is the perfect target. So I think I said initially Okay, depends. I mean, I have a 60% unit on the village. Also, I'm going to get retaliation damage from the burner. I might as well, defend it with 60% defense. So, and also I want to see what am I doing. Am I doing 1 out of 2, 2 out of 2? Okay, so 4 out of 4. This is what I needed. I would say it's reasonable to expect 4 out of 6 towards an adept attack. So 3 adepts, 4 out of 6. It's reasonable. 5 out of 6, it's already great, and 6 out of 6 is already lucky, I would say. So 4 out of 6 reasonable, 5 out of 6 good, but still, let's say, within the, you can't call yourself lucky if you got 5 out of 6, but if you do get 6 out of 6, you are indeed lucky. So far so good. 4 out of 4, and then of course now I use the skeleton to basically protect against his leader and his recruits, and I got my hits, and now I had one more adept left over. Normally, if this adept would have missed on the burner, then I would have used the second adept. I would have had no other choice. So it would have still been okay with 2 Drake units killed. However, since I had this spare adept and this was an intelligent, quick fighter, I got here 6 out of 6. So this was lucky. So this was lucky. This was an unexpected bonus, and this made this particular attack even better than, even stronger than initially projected. So this was 6 out of 6 with the adept. This was lucky. However, 5 out of 6 would have still been crippling for my opponent. I could have maybe used the bat as well. Not sure whether I'm sure the bat actually wouldn't have killed him. However, he would have had one injured fighter to worry about. However, an injured fighter still deals 100% of the damage to an adept, right? Adepts have no retaliation. So perhaps it would have been a bit different, it would have gone a bit differently, but already this is incredibly strong. And from here on, I can already play it turn by turn rather than unit by unit. Here, as you can see, I realized how strong my attack turned out to be, and I recruited another adept. I did not really care about this glider, what the glider was doing anymore. Glider doesn't deal real damage anyway, so I prioritize recruits. Then he's going to kill all my adepts. 2 units to kill an adept. That is absolutely fine. Here, 10 out of 33. Perhaps he should have gotten one more hit. However, one more hit wouldn't have killed this adept. So I would say pretty standard. The hits on the drakes. However, the problem now is he only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drakes, and he did not recruit. So it's looking already pretty grim on the left-hand side. So 2 out of 2 misses, 2 out of 2 hits. Then I got the hit on the Drake. Every unit I managed to kill is huge at this point. And as you can see, I went back to kill the units in the background while letting my skeleton protect my access to my troops. And also this walking corpse, it may not seem that he does much. However, he does block the path of this clasher. It forces the clasher. So here the clasher would be controlled. It forces the clasher to go through the forest, and the clasher can't reach my troops. So plus more adepts are coming. This Drake is blocked, and he might kill an adept. Okay, does not even kill the adept. That was unfortunate, but it doesn't really matter at this point, I feel. So he does deal a lot of damage to my skeleton. He will kill the skeleton in the end. However, the adepts are the damage dealers, and they are still alive, most of them. So that's why I'm dealing so much damage. I could have I could even use my 1 HP Adept to deal damage to the Clasher, simply because the Clasher does not have retaliation, and already too many kills across the board, and his Thrasher cannot recruit. It's not in range for recruiting, and I already have too many villages. So I hope you guys like this game. You can do a fake recruit with any faction. However, fake retreat with any faction. However, this fake retreat is particularly strong with Undead versus Drake. And I honestly think that is the only weapon that Undead has in this matchup. Because without this weapon, Undead would be just a very would be absolutely would have no chance of winning against Drake, simply because if you play fair and square and you don't take increased risks with these fake retreats, then simply these Drake fighters in large numbers are going to outmaneuver you. They have 6 movement points and they fly over terrain, so there is no way I can outmaneuver. There is no way I can outmaneuver him on this map specifically. So you saw how quickly I killed all these drakes due to my adepts. Something similar can happen the other way around. All these fighters, they kill all the adepts, and suddenly I'm left with no damage versus an absolutely ridiculous number of Drake fighters. So it's a very volatile matchup. If, as Drake, you manage to survive the first 2 night cycles, then in my opinion, 97% of the time, you've already won the game. Knowing this, as Undead, you do have to take risks, you do have to play mind games, and you do have to make things happen. Anyway, I hope you, ladies and gentlemen, liked it, and I shall see you later.